Hello, my name is Richard Kraneis, and this is another episode in Dad's Learning Videos. Here's a picture of me. Today's topic is typing is a skill. Well, this all began with me yesterday when I was at a SharePoint conference, and someone next to me has an iPad out and they're diligently typing notes, and I have a pad of paper out and I'm writing notes. It seemed pretty archaic. So it made me think about how much I enjoy typing and how it's really an important skill for me. So let's move ahead with typing as a skill. I'm really not fond of the concept of carpal tunnel syndrome, and I'd like you to avoid it. Apparently, this is a photo of someone who has carpal tunnel syndrome. I really value my hands. I value my typing skill. I've been typing for 40 years, and I haven't clocked myself in a while, but I'm pretty sure I do a solid 75 to 80 words per minute. People have actually asked me to type softly because it disturbs them. My wife always comments that, I'm just banging away at the computer. And someone actually stopped a computer class once to politely ask me to not take notes on the computer and to write them instead. So I really do enjoy typing, and I think that for a lot of us, typing is a business asset, so we should consider it. We don't want to end up like this. It's so horrible, and if you have carpal tunnel, I'm so sad for you. I wish you had seen this video earlier. What happens over time is that our hands are shaped to the task. This is actually something regarding Abraham Lincoln artifacts. These are two photos of his, casts of his hands from 1860 and also 1865. Abe Lincoln was a really big guy. He was 6'4½". He really did cut down trees for a living when he was a kid, all the way from age 7 to 20. And after that, he became a lawyer. And a lot of folks believe that his hands became shaped to the task of writing because he wrote so much. I sometimes wonder if those huge hands of Lincoln felt cramped or in pain from all the writing he had to do. So, well, if Lincoln were alive, first of all, I'd say hello and howdy and shake his hand. But if Lincoln were alive, he probably would research computer keyboards. Abe Lincoln was incredibly tech savvy. A lot of people don't know that. He's the only president that actually has a patent, with the United States, and it was with ships, but that's a different story. So here's computer keyboards. You can look it up in Wikipedia. You can see the different type of keyboards that you have. This is a Logitech keyboard with a wrist rest. I've used this kind of stuff. I don't recommend it because it's not articulated. It's not bent. I'll show you what I recommend in a minute. You go down, you can see all the different keyboards that exist. Bendable keyboard. I wouldn't mind trying that one if I had a portable device. And somewhere in here, there it is. The keyboard you have that you use every day is called a QWERTY keyboard, QWERTY. And that's because it's the QWERTY going left to right. This keyboard was actually laid out to be painful because in the early 1900s, the people who typed were men. It was a man's job. And they became so good at it, they laid out the keyboard so it was difficult to type and jam the keys as the male typists were doing. So that's how you got the keyboard you have today. And I believe in the early 1940s, they came out with the Dvorak simplified keyboard. And I believe someone using this actually types at 200 words per minute. That's probably the record right now for typing with the Dvorak keyboard. A Dvorak typist can type twice as fast easily as a QWERTY typist. But for most of us, we are QWERTY typists. So getting back to keyboards, let me show you what I use. I use a Microsoft Natural keyboard. I'm not selling it. I don't make any money telling you about this. Mine is this pretty black one that you see here. I really like it because it has a foam pad down below, so it's easy on the wrist. And I just noticed this, but the callus I used to have on my right palm no longer exists from leaning on this. And it's bent, the left side and the right side. It has a nice little bend to it. I can type on this for a long time and have done so many times. So really consider trying out a Microsoft Natural keyboard. I've talked to a lot of people. I've mentioned it whenever I go to a new job. I request a Microsoft Natural keyboard or I use it myself. I normally have two of them hanging around somewhere. I know a lot of people say, oh, I could never get used to that. I really think that's quite foolish because You just have to type on it 3-4 days. You're probably never going to go back and use a bad keyboard again. And this reminds me of the lady who sat next to me during a conference yesterday. I'm writing, it's very comfortable. She's using a really fancy iPad device, but I can see that her hands are tightly spaced together. Her hands are flat, and I can almost feel the pain her hands are going to have if she does it, incessantly. So this is all about, using, typing. If you've typed for 4 decades, as I have, your hands are really important to you. You don't want your hands to look like this. And what's certainly going to happen over time is that your hands will become shaped to your task. So be good to your hands, be kind to your hands, really think about what kind of computer keyboard you're going to use, and quite possibly you'll end up with a Microsoft Natural keyboard. Whatever keyboard you choose, make it a conscious choice of choosing a keyboard that's good to your hands, that will allow you to type for a lifetime. Thanks a lot for listening. My name is Richard Kraneis, and this is another episode of Dad's Learning Videos. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.